Let me ask you something. How many times have you stayed late at work this week even when you really wanted to go home? One more. How many times have you looked at the message from your manager at 9 or 10 p.m. and thought, I should probably reply? Even though nobody actually told you that you had to do this. And maybe you had done it because you think, if I keep doing or keep showing this, I will look like more committed and they will notice me, right? I understand that because most of us have been taught that good employee is one who says yes. Yes, I'll take the project. Yes, I'll stay late. Yes, I'll work on the weekend. And yes, I will handle it. And slowly, without even realizing it, you start sacrificing yourself for your job. But here's what I want you to think about today. Is your job actually giving you something in return for everything you are giving up? Because that's where I think a lot of professionals get this wrong. I have worked in HR, I have reviewed thousands of resumes, and over the years, I have coached a lot of professionals who were completely exhausted with their career. And you know what I keep saying? The person who's always available is not necessarily the person who get promoted. The person who worked the longest hour is not necessarily the person who get the biggest raise. And the person who says, yes, I can do anything, is not necessarily the person the company will protect when things get difficult. Actually, I have seen some very hardworking, extremely loyal employees lose their jobs during layoffs. And that can be very difficult thing to accept. Because they are thinking, but I have given everything to this company. I know, but the company is not your family. I know this sounds little harsh, but this is the fact. I am not saying that each and every company is doing that. They don't care about employee. They do. Some absolutely care about employee. But at the end of the day, they are doing business. And you cannot connect your career with their business. These are two different entities. These are two different things. So there are three things I really want you to think about. And I'm not telling you suddenly become the person who says, hey, sorry, this is not my job to everything. No, that's not what I'm trying to say here. See, there will be times when you have to stay late. There will be different projects. There will be deadlines. Sometimes you have to step up, and that's part of having a career. You have to do all these things. The problem starts when stepping up becomes your entire career strategy. Think about it. If every time there is a problem, you are the person who stays late. If every time there's extra work, you are the person who says, yes, I can do that. If every weekend you are somehow working, then at this point, you need to ask to yourself, what I'm actually getting from this. So let's start the discussion with the very first step. And this one is a very big one. Because I see this all the time. You know, someone tells me, Sona, I'm working so hard, I'm doing so much. And then I ask, okay, what you are learning actually? And then there's silence. And trust me, I'm not judging them. I completely understand. Because when you are so busy from morning to night, it feels like you are progressing. But being busy and becoming more valuable are two different things. Let me give you an example. Maybe you are working in IT, right? You are working 10 hours in a day. You are handling tickets, following up with the people, preparing reports, and attending meetings, solving the same problem again and again. And at the end of the day, you are exhausted. But after 2 years, you are still doing almost the same kind of job, okay? Almost the same kind of things. So yes, you have gained experience. But have you actually increased your market value? That's the question. Because when you are eventually leave that company, nobody is going to say, hey, wow, she answered 47 messages after office hour. She is so dedicated. No, they are not going to ask that. What they are going to ask is, what can you do? What problem can you solve? What result have you created? What skills have you developed? That's what stays with you. So if you are putting in extra hours, at least make sure some of those hours are helping you grow. Otherwise, you are just getting tired, nothing else. So now let's talk about the second important point. And I'm not going to give you that typical advice that work-life balance is everything. Because honestly, sometimes it's not. See, there are phases in your career when work is going to demand more from you. I understand that. Maybe you are launching something, maybe there is a deadline, maybe you are working towards a promotion and everything is fine. But here where you need to be careful. Don't let the temporary phase become your permanent lifestyle, right? Because I have seen people who say, hey, bus, ye promotion ho jaye, fir I will slow down. Promotion comes. And then they say, okay, one more year, then I'll take a break. Then the year goes. And suddenly they spend 5 years saying, I'll make time later. Later for what? My question is, later for what? Your health? For your family, for your friends, for yourself. You don't get all of that time back. Whatever gone, it's gone. And see, I'm not telling you that stop working hard. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is don't become so successful professionally that you don't have life outside your work, because that is not success. Third important thing that I want you to focus on is, and this is probably the most important aspect, and if you are early in your career, please listen this very carefully. Don't become so comfortable in one company. And because you know what? When you stay with the same company, you are losing outside the world. And I have seen this happen so many times. Someone stays at the company for 7 to 8 years. They know everything internally. They know the system. They know the people. They know how to get things done. And internally, they are fantastic. But when one day something happens, maybe there is a restructuring, or maybe the manager leaves, or maybe the company shuts down their division. Maybe they realize that the time is to move. And suddenly they start applying outside, and that's when the reality hits. Their resume hasn't changed much. Their skills haven't evolved much. Their interview skills are rusty. They haven't spoken to recruiters in air because they were so comfortable. And then they reach out to me and then they say, hey Sona, I have 8 years of experience. Why I am not getting interview calls? I'm so good in my work, my company. The people know that how good I am. And this is where I ask them something very uncomfortable. Do you have 8 years of experience, or do you have 1 year of experience repeated 8 times? Think about that. Because experience is not just the numbers of years you have employed. It's what changed during those years. Did your responsibility grow? Did your skill grow? Did your scope grow? Did that impact grow? Did your salary grow? Did your confidence grow? Did your career options grow? That's the real career progression. If the answer is no, there is no growth, no experience. See, I have worked with so many professionals, and someone, let's call him Rishi, the employee that everyone loves. You know the type, like manager calls, hey Rishi, can you take this? Yes. Team needs help. Rishi, can you handle it? Yes. Weekend issue. Rishi, sorry to disturb you. Can you handle this? For sure, no problem. He was always there. And he genuinely thought that he was doing so good, the manager will protect him, the company will protect him. Then one day he came to me because he wanted to change the job. He sensed something inside and he got disturbed, and he came to me, so now I'm looking for a job. And he said, okay, I am looking for this kind of job. And I asked him, what is your greatest strength or achievement? He was literally struggling to answer that question. He was not able to give me the clear idea about his achievements. And it's not like he is not doing anything. He was doing so good. He was into so many things. But he was not able to identify his achievement. See, you can spend 10 hours in a day working, and still, if you are not building a strong career story, you have to think about what exactly you are doing. Your career is not a record that how tired you are. It's a record of the value you are creating there. So please think about that. See, now I'm not asking you to suddenly start saying no to your manager. No, I cannot do this. This is something I cannot do. I can't stay long. No. Please don't misunderstand me. No. You still need to be a good employee. You still need to deliver. You still need to support your team. But before you automatically say yes to everything, pause for a second and ask yourself three questions, simple three questions. First, is this helping me grow? Maybe it's giving you a new skill. Maybe it's giving you exposure to like senior leadership. Maybe it is giving you a project that you want to get into. And this will help you in your next interview. Great. That's useful. You should say yes. Second question, is this helping me move forward? Maybe you are getting paid for that additional responsibility. Maybe it's going to strengthen your case for promotion. That's great. Maybe you have clearly discussed the next step with your manager and this is part of your next step. That's great. You can go for that. But every time saying yes, yes, yes can be a problem. If after saying yes, still your promotion and everything is on stake, if the time of promotion or appraisal manager is saying, oh, we have to think about that, maybe next year you are working good, but still things are missing, you have to work a little more, next year we'll talk about, that means it's a red flag. You should stop saying yes, yes, yes every time. And the third question is this sustainable? Can you do this for the next 6 months or are you already exhausted? That's very, very important thing. Because if you constantly sacrifice your health, your relationship, your learning and your personal life, something is seriously wrong. Something is seriously wrong. And you don't need to wait until you completely burn out to admit that. This is very important. See, your goal should not be to become the employee who is needed for everything. Your goal should be to become the professional who is valuable anywhere. I'm focusing on anywhere. That's a very different mindset, trust me. Because if you are valuable anywhere, you have options. And when you have options, your entire relationship with your current job changes. You don't feel trapped. You can negotiate. You can ask for a better role. You can ask for better compensation. You can say no when something is not reasonable. And if the company doesn't work for you anymore, you can always leave. That's career security. And that's what I want for you. So if you are watching this and thinking, okay, Sona, maybe I have been sacrificing too much. Don't beat yourself up. You don't need to quit tomorrow. No. You don't need to start fighting with your manager. No. And you definitely don't need to become that person who says, that's not my job to everything. Just start being a little more intentional. That's the goal. Before you give another hour, ask yourself what you are getting back. Before you say yes to another project, ask yourself what it's doing for your career, for your growth. And before you give another year to the company, ask yourself, am I actually growing here? That's very, very important because your job is so important. Your career is very important. But please remember, your life is bigger than your job. And don't sacrifice your entire future just to prove that you are a good employee today, right now. If this video made you think about your own career, I would love to hear more about your journey. Please write down in the comment section, and also if you need any help, any guidance specifically for yourself, write down in the comment section or reach out to me directly and I'll help you. I'll provide all the details in the description, so don't forget to check it out. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and do share it with someone who wants to hear this today. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel to get more clarity about your career. I'm your coach Sona Bhatt and I'll see you in the next video. Until, keep learning and keep growing. Take care. Bye-bye.